Hey y'all, Billy Thompson here. If you're looking to fix up your truck, figure out what that weird noise is, or just learn a thing or two about keeping your car running right, you've come to the right place. I keep it simple, straight up, and hands-on. Go ahead and give this video a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's get to work. Enough jawing, let's dive in.
Fault code P0793 sounds like intermediate shaft speed sensor, or circuit no signal. Often, in OBD2 scanner software, the name may have the English spelling, intermediate shaft speed, ISS, sensor, or circuit no signal. Technical description and decoding of error P0793. Diagnostic fault code P0793 indicates that there is no signal on circuit or of the intermediate shaft speed sensor, ISS. Without an accurate output speed signal, the transmission control module, TCM, it cannot change gear correctly, so this code is set. The intermediate shaft helps distribute the rotational force from the input transmission to the output shaft inside the transmission. The speed of the intermediate shaft depends on the gear it is in. In a manual gearbox, the gear selector determines this, so there is no need to control the speed of the intermediate shaft. In an automatic gearbox, the gear you are in is determined by the transmission control module, TCM. It also uses various sensor inputs that contribute to smooth and efficient gear changes. If the transmission control module, TCM, detects a fault, the PCM/ECM can override the values based on other sensors to determine the shift time. This adjusts the torque converter and pressure if information from the ISS sensor is not available. Error code P0793 is set when the transmission control module, TCM, is monitoring a general fault with a signal on the A speed sensor or its circuit. Without the correct signal from the intermediate shaft speed sensor, the transmission cannot provide an optimal gearshift strategy. The speed of the intermediate shaft must be gradually increased until the required shift point is reached. If the sensor is faulty, this will not happen and the gearshift strategy cannot be determined. Symptoms of malfunction. The main P0793 fault symptom for the driver is the illuminated MIL, malfunction indicator light. This is also referred to as the check engine or simply check engine light. It can also manifest as the check engine control lamp on the control panel will light up. The code will be stored as a fault. Other related fault codes may also be present. The speedometer or tachometer is not working, or is faulty. Gear changes are difficult. Problems shifting gears. The engine does not accelerate well. Jerky or false ignition at idle or under load. The engine may stall or not start. Reduced engine power. Increased fuel consumption. Error P0793 is quite serious, as the conditions that lead to its persistence can cause damage to the transmission. Causes of the error. The P0793 code could mean that one or more of the following problems have occurred: faulty or damaged intermediate shaft speed sensor, ISS. The output shaft speed sensor has failed. Faulty input shaft speed sensor. The shift solenoid valve is not working properly. Open, short-circuited wiring or connectors in the circuits of the sensors listed. Dirty transmission fluid or insufficient transmission fluid. Sometimes the cause is a faulty PCM module. How to eliminate or clear fault code P0793. Some suggested steps for troubleshooting and correcting fault code P0793. Read all the stored errors using an OBD scan tool. Clear the errors and carry out a test drive to see if error P0793 appears again. If the code appears again, inspect the wires and connectors for damage. Test the intermediate shaft speed sensor, ISS, circuit. If there is a problem, replace the faulty sensor. Inspect the electrical wiring and connections of the associated sensors. Flash or replace the PCM, if necessary. Diagnosing and solving problems. It is worth first consulting the Technical Service Bulletins, TSB, for your particular make of car with error P0793. If the problem is already described, following the instructions can save you time and money in diagnosing and fixing the problem. Visually inspect all cables and connectors leading to the intermediate shaft speed sensor, ISS. Look carefully for abrasions, exposed wires, or breaks. Also note any melted or otherwise damaged areas. Repair if necessary. Electrical wiring: check the wiring harness for loose connections, loose wires, or dirty terminals. Disconnect all wiring harness connections from the vehicle, the intermediate axle speed sensor and the PCM/ECM unit. Using a multimeter on an ohm scale, check for excessive resistance. If the resistance is too high, trace the wiring harness through the circuit between each connector to determine the cause. If the resistance indicates above the limit, look for broken or damaged wires. Check for an earth fault in the wiring sections by moving the positive or negative conductor to a good earth connection. If there is resistance, there may be a short circuit to earth. The wiring harness should be checked for damage to the wiring harness or areas that could be grabbed by contact with the car's chassis. Faulty wiring is often the cause of error P0793. Intermediate shaft speed sensor: Lexus, RX350, Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, B170, B200, Sprinter, Viano, Vito, Pontiac, Vibe, Scion, XB, Suzuki, Toyota, Avalon, Avensis, Camry, Harrier, Highlander, RAV4, Sienna, Volkswagen. With fault code P0793, it is sometimes possible to find other faults. The most common are the following: P0791, P0792, P0794. Fault code P0793, intermediate shaft speed sensor. In conclusion, the fault code P0793 indicates an issue with the intermediate shaft speed sensor, circuit, specifically a lack of signal. This can lead to various performance problems in your vehicle, including erratic shifting and reduced efficiency. It's essential to diagnose the root cause, whether it's a faulty sensor, wiring issues, or a malfunctioning transmission control module. Addressing this problem promptly can help maintain your vehicle's performance and prevent further complications. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more automotive insights.